Talking with Charlotte Flair, who everybody knows as a multiple time title winner in WWE these days. And how are you, first and foremost, considering this crazy world that we are all residing in right now?
I'm just happy to be back to work, back on the road. Well, work never stopped, but I'm happy to be back traveling and performing in front of live audiences again. It
I
really does
spoke,
make that big of a difference.
you can tell, I spoke with Kofi the other day and we were talking about that. And first and foremost, I commend you guys for being able to do what you did for so long because how much the product that you guys put out there is based on audience interaction. And when you guys
Yep.
first started doing those empty arena shows before the Thunderdome, like I can only, if it was awkward to watch, because it kind of felt like a dress rehearsal sometimes, just because there was no people in the arena, I can only imagine how hard that was for you guys, especially in that situation where you're live on a mic and you don't know if anything really goes over or it doesn't because you don't have that instant reaction to it.
Yeah, and for me, I've tried not to look at it as a negative. I was like, okay, how could I use this to get better? So it was like, how do you bring that sense of urgency and intensity when you have no one to feed off of? Because when you watch a movie or a show, there's no audiences either, but you're still on that roller coaster of emotions in a fight scene. So how do you do that as a performer? But I think for me, I mean, you can't deny a live audience's reaction. And that's what I missed. Like having nothing to gauge off of other than opinions that you're reading, which are completely different. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. Can
yeah.
I just can I just tell you how awesome you are when it comes to like social media trolls? Because I don't remember when it was, but it was a while ago where someone said to you, you lift so much, you look like a man. And your response was something to the effect of, well, if you lifted as much as I would, maybe you would too. And I thought that was just brilliant. Like, absolutely. Like, what a way to put him in his place, but in a very humorous yet sincere manner.
I just pick my spots, to be honest. I mean, you can't acknowledge every troll, but
Sure.
sometimes it's just like, okay, like you're saying this behind a computer, but
Right.
when you see me in person, you're actually on your knees bowing down, which is usually what happens. So, you know what I mean? Like, but I think my character for so long, I can see how it's easy for like even people that I meet at dinner for the first time in a friend setting that's not even a work setting who have just seen like my social media, they're like, "Oh, you're much nicer in person." And I'm like, "What do people expect?" Like, but at the same time, I'm like, I must really do my job that well or come across like I have that resting
You can
bean
say
face. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
it.
But I mean, I guess you can't teach that presence. That's a good thing.
Now, do you you've kind of been on both sides of the coin, and I'll use the wrestling term for all the true believers out there, the face and heel side of things. Which do you
Yep.
prefer? Because I know there are some people that absolutely love the crowd reaction. And I mean, as a fan, you can hear when someone's music hits and the reaction that comes. And there are other people that just love to get a rise out of the crowd and everybody else around them. Do you like playing the heel or do you like the other side of that?
I mean, I I wish like when I was a good guy, I had to remember that to the little kids, I was the good guy. And they just saw this athlete with the robes, but naturally, and not thinking of the kids, I like being the bad guy because I don't think I'm as like, even when I try to be relatable, it almost comes across worse.
Mm.
Like in my mind, I think I'm relatable, but it's still, when I try to say it, it's like, oh, she's even worse. Like it almost works against me when I try to be, and
Yeah.
I can be as sincere as possible. So I'm really like, when I came back after missing WrestleMania, I really just came full force. Just, these are the reasons why you don't like me, and just using it. Yeah, I don't know. But I, at the end of the day, it is for, I believe, the kids, but I prefer being the bad guy,
I
honestly.
I think you are a phenomenal heel. Not that you do anything bad on the other side of that, but they're
Yeah.
just the way that
It's
character
just
comes
easy.
across.
Yeah. It's just, oozing arrogance is not the most, um, what's the word? Like, and I don't even find myself to be the cool bad guy. It's just like bad guy.
Now, but do you think because of who your dad is, that everybody always kind of expected you to carry that type of arrogance around? Not to say that you didn't
Mm,
certainly earn it, because if you went pound for pound, who's the best
but I think
performer
that's the problem. I think arguing that I didn't earn it is
Mhm.
the issue, because I am his kid.
Right.
Like, I don't think either way, whether I carried on the arrogance or not, it's more about, oh, well, she didn't earn anything. And I think in this day and age, it's hard for people to go, well, dang, she really is that good.
Yeah.
And she's his daughter. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just not fair, right? Like,
No. Well, I
what
mean,
am
but
I
I mean,
supposed to say?
that's what I
It's
was just going to say
so,
though. Pound for pound, if you look at like who the best in-ring performers are, male or female for that matter, that's a short list at the top, and you have to be of current performers, and you've
yeah.
got to be up near the top of that list right now, just based on, what goes on within in the match dynamic as opposed to everything else.
Um, if my last name was something else, people, I would not get the grief that I get from people. Like, I truly believe that. I think people have a hard time with the last name, and that overshadows a lot. But I will say, like, how I I I believe I'm at the top of that list.
Oh,
Not, I mean, like, ranked among the male and females.
yeah, I would agree. Of
Just
today's era.
having that, I mean, it's hard to have that persona, whether I have the title or don't, to make you feel like, oh, this is a big deal. And I
But
think that's what separates me from the rest.
I think you've gotten to the point though where you don't necessarily, you've attained the level where you don't, even though you have the title and it's great when you
Yeah.
do, you've attained the level that you don't need the title per
No,
se.
that's what I mean. Like, but even if I don't have it, you still feel like, oh, this is a big deal.
Right.
I,
Absolutely.
and bringing that to television every week is the hard part. And I feel like that people don't really like, but I don't know. That's why I like live audiences, because I know the live audiences feel it. Like, I
Sure.
always get the live audiences love you. Like, do you know, it's hard to, like, that's why I love live audiences, because they don't deny when you see me in person. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Absolutely. Well, and the live audience is usually uncensored because they can tell you what they feel right then and
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And there's no way to edit that out until, sure, you can edit out of a replay,
Yeah.
but you can't do it the original time. And I think a lot of people don't realize, because there are a lot of second and third generation wrestlers out there, so to speak, but not all of them have reached that plateau that you and a handful of others have actually gotten to. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been in the business for a while, but they haven't achieved that like upper echelon of, name recognition
Yeah.
and, being able to draw and everything like that. And that too is a small room full of people that have been able to pull that off for sure. But do you think now, because of the way the internet is, and there are more ways for people to interact with you than before, do you think that makes it harder to do what you guys do? Because you mentioned reading things. A lot of people go, I don't read that stuff. It has got to be so hard not to, especially when you're traveling and you spend so much time, in the car or on a plane. Like, it's got to be hard to not, I don't know, scroll through my social media feed.
Yeah, mine's 50-50. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I, I it's easier to be negative. People always have to find the bad guy or to blame. So I don't know, you roll with the punches.
Sure.
But I think I've gotten it my whole career. That's the chip on the shoulder that I have. That's why I've gotten so far. Like, bring it. I'll just keep making.
So what's next? You've main evented WrestleMania. You have achieved titles. What's the goal next?
I guess main eventing again in a
Okay.
singles. I really want to be in an action hero movie. And really it's just getting that much better. Like, I feel like I keep growing, and I'm in my prime, and I don't know. Just keep going with it, right?
Absolutely. Hey, do what you can. I'm sure movies are right around
Yeah.
the corner. Someone would be crazy
I guess
not to.
I guess breaking my dad's record would be next.
That'd be a great family discussion around the table. But
Yeah.
awesome. Well, we are looking forward to you guys in Indianapolis coming up in November. It'll be the first time that Raw has been here in 4 years. So excited to see that, and excited to be able to see it live again. Like, it's been great to be
Yes.
able to watch it for an escape for the last 18 or so months, but to be in that live environment again, if anybody's never seen a WWE show, you got to go at least once. It
That's
should
what
be
I
on your
always say.
bucket.
I'm like, don't watch it. You have to see it live for the first time. It's a completely
Absolutely.
different experience.
Absolutely. Charlotte Flair, thank you so much for the time. Great talking to you. Best of luck in the future, and follow you on your Instagram and your social media, because you're a great follow.
Thank you.